Hello everyone, welcome back to the weapons comparison series for Insurgency Sandstorm. I am Mr. Rain, and today we are going to be looking at the MP5 versus the AKS-74U. And for the sake of the title, that will actually be reversed, so it would stand out in front of the previous episode that I've done between the MP5 and the MP7. So with that being said, the reasoning for doing this comparison is because the MP5A2 variant is available for insurgent forces, as is the AKS-74U for the breacher class. And the idea here is to decide which weapon is better, more versatile, or just easier to use. And so as we see here, the A2 uses 3 supply points, whereas the AKS-74U uses 4. And so we're going to go real quick with the MP5 breakdown because we've already gone through it. It uses 9mm ammo, set vertical recoil of 17, horizontal of 19, velocity of 400, and fire rate of 800 rounds per minute with a 177 penetration, mag capacity of 30, and for the A2 you only get 2 fire modes, which is full auto or single fire. So let's go ahead and load up the gun.
Okay, let's do it!
And just so we have a comparison in this video, here's what the iron sights look like. And now let's go ahead and do our recoil test. Alright, MP5 base weapon, recoil test. 3, 2, 1. Alright, and that was our results. So let's go ahead and look at the AKS-74U. Alright, so the AKS-74U uses 5.45 by 39mm, a vertical recoil of 19, a horizontal of 12, a velocity of 735, a slower fire rate of 652 rounds per minute, and a penetration of 260, a mag capacity of 30, and 2 fire modes, full auto and single fire. And just so they kind of overlap, you can see here that the AKS is going to have more damage, but you're sacrificing a little more vertical and you're going to have less horizontal recoil. We're going to see how that looks in a second here. Let's go ahead and load up the gun. And this is what the iron sights look like. Very awkward, to be honest. Not as clean as I remember them, but I think they are still very serviceable. Not the worst that the game has to offer. Not the worst out of the weapons that we've seen yet. So let's go ahead and run a recoil test and see what our results are. Alright, so this is the AKS-74U. No attachments. 3, 2, 1. So, bigger ammo, so it's a bit of all over the place, but I got a good cluster here. The AKS felt easier to control after the first few shots once I figured out what the recoil was supposed to be. But that is your primary difference. Very similar, I feel. So, can't really tell you for sure which one would be more difficult to use from one to the other. What I will say though is that the MP5 does have a higher fire rate, which means if you're getting the same recoil but you're laying down more ammo, if you're laying down more bullets per minute, then you'll probably be more effective. The AKS is more powerful, but again, it still may not make up the difference for that RPMs that you get through the MP5. It's a real tough call, I feel, right now in regards to which weapon controls better than one or the other. I feel they both handle pretty much the same. So with that being said, we're going to reload the map and we're going to check out our attachments. Alright, and we are back and we're going to be looking at our attachments. The MP5 has a base supply cost of 3, plus a foregrip would be 3 extra points. And so that would make a total of 6 out of your loadout. which isn't too bad, but still a bit pricey. And so let's go ahead and 1 second. Right. So let's go ahead and load up this gun with the foregrip and do our recoil test one more time. So here we go, MP5 recoil test with the foregrip. 3, 2, 1. Again, I got the triangle pattern from the previous video, this time with the foregrip though. As I said last time, foregrip doesn't really do a whole lot for this gun. It does make it slightly easier to shoot, so if you really want to make this gun as much of a laser as possible, then you can grab the foregrip, but a little extra adjustment without it doesn't really hurt much. Pretty much the same performance you would expect with or without foregrip. It helps for consistent fire, but not so much for your recoil pattern. So with that said, let's go ahead and look at the A74U. So the 74U has a base supply cost of 4, and a foregrip would add 3, for a total of 7. Again, not the worst, but it is more expensive than the MP5A2, so for that, the A2 gets the advantage on versatility. So let's go ahead and load up this gun with a foregrip. So here we are, AKS-74U with a foregrip. 3, 2, 1. So the foregrip does a better job in this for this gun. For some reason, it's a lot more of a linear fire rate. I was able to adjust pretty well. Again, the slow rate of fire makes it feel easier to shoot, and so the difference you see here in recoil is mainly because of the ammo difference more than anything else. If you put this side by side with other short barrel rifles, you'll probably see a very similar result. So it's unique. So again, it all depends on how you play, but I would say the MP5 would take the advantage overall, just because it will give you a shorter spread. It's a lot more accurate, and it shoots faster, and it's cheaper. So in all categories, the 74U doesn't really do a whole lot against the MP5 in any category. That being said, I would still say to test out the 74U from time to time, but if you're just looking to figure out which gun is easier or more versatile, the MP5 wins in all categories. So that would be it for this video. If you enjoyed this video and found it informative, please leave a like, and if you wish to see more, please consider subscribing. And that will be it for today. See you guys next time.